Come in, Juhi.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Juhi, introduce yourself.
My name is JUHI, hailing from the city of Thousand Gardens, Hazaribagh. I did my matriculation from Commonwealth High School and my intermediate from JES Public School, Hazaribagh, in which I secured 97.6%. And I was the topper of the district and the second topper of the state. Based on my performance, I was even invited by the Prime Minister to witness a Republic Day parade from the Prime Minister's box in the year 2018. I have also been offered a scholarship by Reliance Foundation. Then I pursued my graduation from Vibhat K University, and since then I have been preparing for civil services, and this was my first attempt. Apart from being good at academics, I have also participated in the extracurricular activities. For instance, I was the school head girl in class 10th, and I also bagged the title of Miss Intellectual in class 12th. I have also led the school social service wing, where we used to conduct a social service week in a year, and out of the things that were collected, we used to distribute it to the poor. I have also anchored a number of programs at my school level.
Anything more, Juhi?
No, sir.
Very good. You are from Hazaribagh?
Yes, sir.
Why Hazaribagh is famous for?
So Hazaribagh is famous from the educational perspective. We have St. Columbus College, which was the oldest college to be established in the region of Jharkhand. Presently, we also have Vibhat K University, which is the second leading most university of the state. From the tourism perspective, we do have natural sites such as Hazaribagh Jheel, Kennedy Hill.
Very good. And why Hazaribagh is infamous for?
So recently, it has become infamous for its communal violence.
Recently?
So recently, the issues have further increased, where even a murder can be given a communal tone.
Okay. Very good. Juhi, you are a girl and very impressive introduction you have done. Suppose you became a BDO, you got married with a businessman who after some years of job or who after your marriage insisted you to leave the job. What you will do? How you will manage things then?
So firstly, I would discuss this even prior to the marriage, so that we settle things prior.
It's okay. Suppose prior marriage he gave you assent, है ना? After marriage he insisted you to leave the job because you are not able to manage the home affairs. So he started insisting you, no, don't do this job. As this job is challenging 24/7, you have to work on field. Suppose he insisted you, then what you will do?
So the first thing would be that I would communicate with him. So because leaving job would not be my priority at the first end.
He is not agreeing. Suppose you have to choose your husband and your job, then what you will do?
So if he is my husband as my life partner, then he would have to understand my decisions as well as to respect my decisions. So I would communicate with him, and as far as the household works are concerned, we can distribute the work or we can hire a domestic helper. But so resigning job would not be.
Very good. And Juhi, your greatest weakness?
So I'm very poor at learning things. I can understand the concepts, but I'm very poor at mugging of facts.
For example, you have cleared PT.
Yes, sir.
So you must
So
have.
it was very difficult for me to learn facts. The exact figures are very difficult for me.
How much was your score in prelims?
So it was roughly 272.
Okay. So you have problem in mugging up facts.
Yes, sir.
So you have clear concepts of current affairs. Can we discuss?
Yes.
Have you heard the term poison pill recently in newspaper? Poison pill?
No, sir.
It's okay. And you have written your gardening is your hobby. When you realized gardening is your hobby?
So it was during the lockdown where I read in the newspaper that a couple in Bangalore had converted their terrace into a form of garden.
Okay.
So getting inspired from that, I started gardening.
Okay, so what you are planting nowadays?
So it is tomato, chili. I also have basil, coriander, as well as mint.
Very good. Okay. So what is your opinion on uniform civil code? You have done political science, no?
Yes.
What is your opinion on uniform civil code?
So firstly, uniform civil code refers to the uniform application of the laws related to family, marriage, divorce, as well as adoption, irrespective of the religion. The founding fathers of our constitution were very clear that they never wanted this to be enforced upon the people, and therefore they placed it under Article 44 of the constitution as a directive principle. Recently, there have been debates in order to enforce the uniform civil code.
What is your views on it? Uniform civil codes? Yes or no?
It should be implemented or not?
So at the right time, so I feel that it is the time when uniform civil code should come up from the people themselves. Rather than the government enforcing them to follow a uniform civil code, we should allow them to continue with their religious practices. But if anything that is detrimental to the society or to the position of the women, that should be regulated at the first end.
What do you think when people will realize that we need uniform civil code?
So this will be based on the level of development. We should try to begin with smaller processes. Rather than having a complete turnover of the things, we can start with small steps.
Like?
So for instance, recently the triple talaq that has been removed, we can start with such smaller steps.
Okay, very good. So what do you think government is doing such a small steps to
Yes, the government is working in this direction.
So in near future we have a uniform civil code.
Yes, sir, we will.
Very good. Have you heard about bulldozer politics?
Yes, sir.
Give your opinion on it.
So bulldozer politics has gained the limelight. It is being used in two contexts. In the first sense, it is being used to demolish the houses or anything that has been constructed on the public land. And in the second context, it is also being used to demolish the houses of those who are involved in the social crimes. So on the face of it, it may appear that it is a way of justice and rather an instant justice. But there are underlying issues that are involved. For instance, even in the demolition of the houses, so we should follow the procedure established by the law.
So your opinion is that it is illegal. Process of rule of law is not followed in bulldozer politics.
So we should follow the procedure of the law, which would involve the steps such as firstly we should give them the court notice. The second step would follow that we would give them sufficient time in order to relocate themselves, and then based on the decision of the court, we should be doing something.
So I think rule of law is getting followed everywhere. ऐसा तो नहीं है किसी का घर जाके तोड़ देंगे.
So sufficient time should be given.
Why? Rule of law has to be followed, na?
Yes, sir.
Rule of law is that if some encroachment has happened, the rule of law will take its course of action.
So this would depend upon the court's decision, and the court would provide them with the ample time. So if the encroachments are not removed within the stipulated or the given time period, then we can proceed with that.
Okay. Have you heard this proverb, आँख के बदले आँख?
Yes, sir.
In your Hazaribagh, this proverb is somehow very true on some issues. Like, have you heard the loudspeaker issue, Azan? Now people are contributing funds for playing Hanuman Chalisa. है ना? In Hazaribagh also fund is getting contributed. What is your views on it?
So loudspeaker issue for me is irrespective of the religion. This is something to do with the noise pollution and the human health. And therefore, we should follow the rules that have been laid down by the Central Pollution Control Board in this regard, whereby we should follow the limits of the sound level that has been laid down. For instance, in the residential areas, it should not exceed 55 decibel during the daytime and 50 decibel during the night. So following the rules and something within the rule is acceptable. And apart from that, Central Pollution Control Board has also laid down a rule that for any use of the loudspeaker, we have to take permission from the local authorities. So if the rules are followed, then irrespective of the religion, we have to take care of the human health.
Very good, JUHI. Now, question is from Jharkhand. What is 1932 Khatihan? What is the issue?
So I'm not considering.
No idea. Have you heard this thing or not? 1932 Khatihan?
So I read this in the prelims, but I'm unable to recall it.
It's okay. What is language issue in Jharkhand?
So recently in the various parts of Jharkhand there have been issues because the two languages, that is Bhojpuri and Maghi, they have been introduced to conduct the government examination that will be conducted at the district level. So this issue arose in the region of Bokaro and Dhanbad, as they have the claim that there are very few population that speak these two languages. And this has led to a protest. However, the protesters are also of the opinion that in the districts where these two languages are spoken, we can provide or recognize them as a regional language over there, but not in the districts such as Bokaro and Dhanbad.
Okay, very good. Juhi, have you heard that some people are demanding that Bhojpuri should not be in language list in Jharkhand? This thing is going on, no?
Yes, sir.
What is your opinion? Bhojpuri should be included or not? Yes or no?
So language is a very sensitive issue for a country, and therefore language needs to be recognized. But at the same time, the government needs to take a decision based on the facts and the figures.
Your language paper, Juhi?
So it was English.
English. Very good. And Juhi, what is gross national debt as percentage of GDP right now? Gross national debt as percentage of GDP. Gross national debt as total percentage of
It's
GDP.
roughly around 9% of the GDP.
9%, 90%, 90%. It's okay. Juhi, we have bilateral trade with China. Have you any idea that what is our performance?
So our trade with China is having a negative balance. That is, it isn't working in favor of India because our imports are more than our exports.
Okay, imports are.
So our imports from China are more than what we export to China.
It means we have import dependency on China. What is solution?
So the solution, for instance, the recent steps that have been taken by the government, such as Make in India, we are promoting the development of the products. For instance, our mobile companies, they are taking up the manufacturing of the parts in India itself, so that the dependence on China is reduced. Further, even the government under its e-procurement mission, the government is also planning to procure things which are locally manufactured, and therefore a weightage has been given to the origin of the products.
Very good. How Atmanirbhar Bharat is helpful in this idea?
Sir, Atmanirbhar Bharat is about development of the things, manufacturing of the things, as well as it is about the manufacturing of the things that is done locally. The idea is to make India a global leader in these products, to reduce India's dependency on the other countries, rather to make India itself as a global leader. Atmanirbhar will also include the components of Make in India. For instance, under Make in India, we have a component to become a global leader in terms of our services. So this would not only make India self-reliant, it will also make the other countries to trade as well as interact with us.
What is right now inflation, Juhi?
So inflation is roughly around 9%.
And what are the three major problems before Indian economy?
So the first would be we have a constant GDP growth. It was even
Problems, major problems.
the major problems of Indian economy.
Yes.
So the first is rising inflation. At the second level, it would be the unemployment rate has been less because we have a greater number of the youth participating in the economy, but the job creation, the rate of the job creation is low as compared to that. And so the third issue would be the female labor force participation rate is also declining.
Okay, very good, Juhi.
Yes, Juhi, do you know about NATO?
Yes, sir.
Tell us.
So NATO is an alliance of the countries across the Atlantic Ocean. It includes countries such as US, Canada, as well as the European countries. It is a form of military alliance And that's for and it has also a provision of the joint security component, which means that any attack on one NATO country that will be taken as an attack on all the countries. However, this provision has been used only once.
Do you know about human trafficking?
So human trafficking refers to the sale as well as the purchase of the human beings. So irrespective of the gender, it can be both male, female as well as children. However, the main component of human trafficking includes the trafficking of the women as well as the child.
As an administrative officer, how can you solve this problem?
So at the grassroots level, I do believe that human trafficking is taking place in the form of jobs. Generally, the people from the poor background, they are lured and they are attracted in the name of the jobs in the urban areas. So this would involve providing them with the job opportunities in the rural areas itself.
Do you know about tribal culture of Jharkhand?
So more or less.
Tell us the Gotra system. What is Gotra system or clan system?
So Gotra system refers to a common ancestor. It is generally believed that the people of a same Gotra, we have a same ancestor, and therefore in the Indian society, the marriages in the same Gotra are not permanent.
Very good.
Ms. Jyoti,
Yes, sir.
you know about national education policy,
Yes, sir.
and what is the main objective of national education policy?
So the main objective is to improve our education system and to make it up to date with the latest requirements. For instance, the earlier national education policy that we were following, that was drafted in the year 1986. So over time, great changes have taken place in the society as well as in the level and the quality of the education.
And what is the Saksharta mission? Saksharta mission. You know about Saksharta mission?
So this has been established in order to identify the foundational literacy and work on the foundational literacy.
And any similarities, national education policy and Saksharta mission?
So I'm not very well aware of this.
Okay. And literacy rate in Jharkhand of women?
So it is 67%, out of which the male literacy rate is nearly 78% and the female literacy rate is 58%.
And Hazaribagh?
So Hazaribagh has a literacy ratio of 85%, where the male literacy ratio is 85% and that of female is 80%.
How do social development of Jharkhand? Social development? Any 3 points?
So social development is a multi-faceted concept itself. It would include development on the educational front as well as on the platform of education, providing them jobs, scaling of the youth to increase their employability. At the same time, it would also include the concepts such as health.
What is the main problem of Jharkhand?
So for me, the main problem would be poverty.
And recent current, any problem in Jharkhand?
So presently, we are having the issue of corruption, and at the same time, we have the language issue that is present, the heating of the debate.
And what is corruption? Explain it.
So corruption refers to the use of the public office for a purpose that it is not meant to be used for.
And economically problem in Jharkhand?
So the economic problem starts right from the scaling of the youth. Since our youth are not employable, this adds to the problem of underemployment. The second factor would be disguised underemployment. It is 75% of the population dependent on the agricultural sector, which has a contribution of only 22% to the state GDP. The third economic problem, that would be the female labor force participation rate. Since female in the rural areas, they also hesitate to come up to the urban areas and to take up the employment in those areas.
And your political science background, huh? Coalition government? You know what coalition
So
government?
coalition government is formed when a single party cannot gain the absolute majority. This results in the form of the power sharing.
And difference majority and coalition government?
So
The best?
So majority government is the one which secures a majority. Out of the total seats that are allocated, if a party gets a majority, it will form a government. However, if the party is unable to get a majority, then it has to enter into a power sharing agreement with the other parties. This results into the formation of a coalition.
You know about no confidence motion?
Yes, sir.
Explain it.
So, no confidence motion as provided by, however, it has not been defined in the Constitution. The Constitution under Article 75 provides that the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister that will be responsible to the legislature and they can be removed by a resolution passed in the Lok Sabha. No confidence motion refers to when the Parliament, especially the Lok Sabha, has been given the special powers that it can pass a no confidence motion against the present government. And if the motion is passed by a majority, it will result into the defeat and the fall of the government.
शानदार, जबरदस्त, माइंड ब्लोइंग. योर सिलेक्शन इज 100% मतलब सिक्योर. बहुत अच्छा.
एक कमी बता देता हूँ, उसका कर लेना काम. अभी एक बच्ची तुमसे पहले आई थी नाजमी, तो जब तुम जवाब दे रहे हो अभिजीत सर को मुझे जवाब दे तो एक बार तुम इधर उधर कंसंट्रेशन बढ़िया बात है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा कभी एक बार भी इधर उधर थोड़ा सा देख लेना,
क्योंकि सब लोग देखेंगे आपको.
एक यही है थोड़ा सा नहीं भी.
बाकी तो नॉलेज आउटस्टैंडिंग, नॉलेज में कहीं कमी नहीं है, प्रेजेंटेशन वेरी गुड.
लेकिन उससे अगर हम कंपेयर करते हैं उसने बहुत बढ़िया से, क्यों सर नाजमी
बिल्कुल. हाँ हाँ हाँ.
वो जवाब दे रही है सर को और तो
नहीं, इनका नॉलेज भी बहुत अच्छा है, प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत अच्छा, एक भी चीज़ गलत नहीं बोली, मतलब गोत्र वगैरह भी बहुत अच्छा, प्लस नॉलेज भी अच्छा है, पर्सनालिटी भी अच्छा है. कहाँ रहती हैं आप?
सर बड़ा बाजार सरदार चौक.
पापा का नाम
अरुण कुमार सिन्हा.
क्या करते हैं?
सर वो रिटायर किए फ्रॉम द पोस्ट ऑफ जनसेवा.
बहुत अच्छा है. जो ये तुम्हारा मेंस कैसा गया है बच्चे?
सर मेरा मेंस काफी अच्छा गया.
तब हो जाएगा श्योर. हमको लगा टॉप करेंगी ये, कहीं सुमन गुप्ता ना हो जाए सिक्स JPSC.
सर मेरे को थोड़ा इशू है ओवर हॉबीज. सर जैसे हॉबीज ऐसे तो मेरा हॉबीज सर मेरे को हॉबी चुने हैं दैट इज दैट आई लव क्लीनिंग एंड अरेंजिंग थिंग्स नियर माय मी. बट द सेकंड हॉबीज और सर गार्डनिंग लिखे हैं, लेकिन उससे बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन.
अब दो हॉबी क्यों लिख रही हैं? एक हॉबी लिखिए,
एक ही रखो. आप
क्लीनिंग एंड अरेंजिंग.
वहाँ पे हॉबी भरना नहीं होता है,
हॉबी भरना नहीं होता है.
पूछेंगे आपसे.
अगर आप उसको इंट्रोडक्शन में छोड़ देते हो, सपोज करो आप नहीं डिस्कस करते हो, तो हो सकता है उसके क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे नहीं. तो पहला सेफ साइड आप ये ले. इंट्रोडक्शन अगर वो आपसे पूछते हैं, हो सकता है इंट्रोडक्शन ना भी पूछे, सीधे ग्रेजुएशन के सब्जेक्ट से सवाल पूछने लगते हैं.
थोड़ा कल्चर पे भी काम कर. शासन क्या है? व्हाट इज शासन?
शासन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन.
हाँ, नहीं शासन कल्चर. शासन यहाँ एक कल्चर वर्ड है. बॉडी, डेड बॉडी के को ब्यूरिड करते हैं जमीन के अंदर, लैंड.
यस सर.
और उसके बाद फिर अखरा, सरना, ये सब पूछेंगे. प्रिमिटिव ट्राइब,
तुम अगर इन सब का जवाब
फोक
दे
कल्चर.
तुमसे वो झारखंड के सवाल
झारखंड से पूछना ही है.
और तुम बेटर टू प्लीज डोंट मेंशन हॉबीज इन योर इंट्रोडक्शन.
अभी तुम जितना लिए ना रांची और यहाँ सबसे टॉप, सबसे टॉप.
प्लीज से वन थिंग गार्डनिंग. अगर वो पूछते भी हैं तो उसको कोशिश करो गार्डनिंग.
कितने तारीख को है इंटरव्यू? 11 तो पूछेंगे. लास्ट टाइम में नहीं पूछने, वो हॉबी नहीं पूछते.
गार्डनिंग से क्या हॉबी हो, क्या क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं वो तुम ग्रुप में मैसेज करो, वी विल रिप्लाई. ठीक है.
और सर जैसे हम जब एंट्री लेकर आए थे तो इंडिविजुअली हर एक मेंबर को
जरूरी नहीं है, बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है. आप एक बार गुड मॉर्निंग बोलिए, महिला रहेगी तब आपको, लेकिन सबको थोड़ा सा.
हाँ, बस ऐसे देख के एक बार गुड मॉर्निंग.
मतलब जैसे गुड मॉर्निंग सर, गुड मॉर्निंग मैम.
हाँ, ये चलेगा.
आप गुड मॉर्निंग सर, गुड.
नहीं, वो तो बैड इम्पैक्ट हो जाएगा,
थोड़ा सा अच्छा नहीं लगता.
अच्छा नहीं लगेगा.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, गुड मॉर्निंग.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. हाँ, ये चीज़ बोल दीजिएगा.
सर झारखंड में खतियान पढ़ना हुआ 1932.
We have given some topics on Jharkhand 1932 खतियान और लैंग्वेज इश्यूज, ये सब दिया है.
Recent problem है पंचायती राज में.
बुलडोजर पॉलिटिक्स का आंसर ग्रुप को सॉल्व करना, और जो आंसर पे हम लोगों ने असम लिखा है उसके लास्ट 4 लाइन पर, ठीक है, वो सॉल्व करना ग्रुप को. एक जगह एक इश्यूज पे कुछ आया था, नोट डाउन किया है. केस स्टडीज वाला जो तुमसे मैंने हस्बैंड वाला क्वेश्चन पूछा था, वहाँ तुम ये कहो कि आई नो माय हस्बैंड वेरी वेल। पहले शादी के पहले तो डिसीजन ले लिया था ना तुम दोनों, तो तुम में कन्विंसिंग एबिलिटी होनी चाहिए। आई नो माय हस्बैंड वेरी वेल, ही विल नॉट से टू दिस। इतना तो कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए, वो तुम्हें इंसिस्ट करेगी कि तुम चेंज करो। अरे जो तुम दोनों ने मिलकर तय किया, और अगर अब मैं एक कंडीशन दे दे रहा तो तुम उस कंडीशन में हिल क्यों जा रहे हो, है ना? तुमको नो सर आई नो माय हस्बैंड ही इवन ही इंसिस्टेड मी टू जॉइन दिस जॉब, मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं है ना? तो you and you have convincing ability to convince your husband. Why husband will understand, है ना? You should have convincing ability, है ना? Very good.
लगता ग्रेजुएशन से स्टार्ट कर दी हैं तैयारी, प्रिपरेशन सेकेंड ईयर से ही। वाह, हाँ वो तो पता चल रहा है। चलिए, बहुत शानदार।
All the best.